Oh boy, here we go. Nintendo has started banning people using their MIG Switch. Now you might be thinking, oh well, this is just talking about people who pirate the games and play it on their console. No, we're talking about Nintendo banning people that legally dumped their games and copied it onto the MIG Switch, the one that I made a video on. So with all the legal files to run the games, and they're still getting banned, which is just insane. Now the Switch 2 is already crazy because basically you don't own your own console, you're basically owning a permit to have it or something. Because if you modify your Switch 2, Nintendo can brick your device, not just ban it, they can brick it from across the globe. They can just press the big red kaboom button, apparently. This is the reason why I haven't bought a Switch 2 yet, and why people who did buy it early and were flexing with it looked like absolute idiots. Now don't get me wrong, if you're in the Switch ecosystem and this is your only console, I kinda get it. But even outside of all of this, there's not really that much Switch 2 titles right now. Anyways, let's get into the article. As I said, online services bans for people that use the MIG Switch with their own legal games. Now basically all the MIG Switch does, for the people that don't know, is a card that stores and plays copied Nintendo Switch 1 games. And the way you switch it with the V1 is you take the card out and put it back in, and it switches to the next game on your list. Now with the V2, it was just a button, which basically disconnects the board for half a second and then connects it back. So you don't have to wear out your game cartridge slot, which is awesome. And also you don't have to take all of your physical games on, let's say, a plane. Again, your legal games. But yeah, people have been receiving online bans, blocking them from online play, the eShop, and all other Nintendo services. Here's an example from Switch Tools. My Switch 2 test has been banned after using the MIG Switch with perfectly legal dumps of my own cartridges, so it would seem that Nintendo can detect something. Similar reports on Reddit are starting to come in. Now, I think this may be on a physical level, so especially for the MIG Switch V2. So maybe they have a sensor in the card slot, which checks if a game is actually ejected and put back in. But then what happens when that sensor gets broken? Do people with just game cards also get banned? I don't know. I don't even know if there is a physical sensor. I don't know how Nintendo is doing this, but this is bad. So this user is saying, I tried MIG Switch on my Nintendo Switch 2 once. It didn't work, it just showed the game title and refused to load. It tried to download a title update for it and that was it. Maybe it downloaded a flag for the console to be banned. That is also very possible. But again, you're dumping all of the cartridge files and the console reads all of them, all the certificate files, etc. So I'm still very interested in how Nintendo is checking this, because it's a legit clone. Now another YouTuber, Scattered Brain, posted a video on his banned Nintendo Switch 2 and said that simply signing into another Nintendo account did not lift the ban. So the ban is at a console level. Again, you're not owning your console, you're owning a license to have it. Now Nintendo updated their account agreement earlier in May to make clear that any attempt to use hardware or software that would cause the Nintendo account services to operate other than in accordance with its documentation and intended use risked the Nintendo account services and or the applicable Nintendo device becoming permanently unusable in whole or in part. So either a ban or a full-on brick, as I said before. So yeah, people basically tried the MIG Switch once, didn't work, didn't think much about it, and then boom, soon after they got banned, or weeks after. Anyways, they got banned. So for the people with a MIG Switch, do not use it on your Nintendo Switch 2, even though in most of the world you are fully legal to do so, because they are your original legal game files just copy pasted on another piece of hardware. But Nintendo doesn't play fair. So don't use it on your Nintendo Switch 2. I hope I warned you in time. If not, let me know your experience down below for other people to read. And of course, a like, subscribe, and comment is appreciated if this video was useful in any way, shape, or form. join the Discord server for any help regarding emulation and gaming in general, and follow my Twitch for live streams. Alright, I'm done yapping. Stay safe everyone, and peace out.